it's time for us to come back together. I just saw something with that Zelensky guy from the Ukraine. I'm gonna call him Johnny because I went to school, high school, with Johnny Zelensky. Pretty sure he was in my drafting class. So that's the only Zelensky I know. We'll call him Johnny. And the thing about Johnny Zelensky here, well, what we're seeing of him right now, he may be pretty serious and acting like he's serious, but you can't see behind his mask what I know about Johnny Zelensky. You see, pure legend. When I sent him that Christmas card of me with the Iraqis that I made out of that picture of me with the Iraqis, he laughed. He said, "Oh, that's the Archie Elderquist shit-eating grin." And that's the only time I think he's ever mentioned me having a shit-eating grin. And I never even knew I had a shit-eating grin until I looked at that picture and he was saying it. I was like, that is a shit-eating grin. I do. He's named it the Archie Elderquist shit-eating grin. But it's got nothing on Johnny. That's what we know about Johnny Zelensky. That kid had a shitting grin all the time. He was always up to something. And it wasn't always something bad, just mischievous. Yeah. Johnny Zelensky and his shitting grin. So I look at this and I say, we all have to come back together. Russia and Poland used to be Poland. I believe it was the end of the Second World War, which is once again including these people as we enter the Third World War. They split that section from Poland. And the Iron Curtain fell through them, and they separated them, and they re-educated these strong people with good moral ethic. That's what the Polish were. They're strong people with good moral ethic. The only way you can see them as bad and troublesome is if you fucking needle them a bit too much. You wanna fuck with me? They talk about the Germans coming in to Poland and the stupidity of the fucking Polish on horseback attacking tanks. That's not stupidity. That's the last great act of defiance. It's like, fuck it. Better dead than red. Better dead than red. And they took it right like that fucking mouse putting up the middle finger to the fucking hawk that's swooping down on them. The last great act of defiance. They went in on horse and they fought. And Poland, Warsaw, even when I was there, they were rebuilding from World War II yet. They're just constant giant cranes in the sky, the palace of culture, which the Polish hate because it's Stalin's gift to Poland. The one guy that told me about it spit when he said it. They fucking hated Stalin. And you're gonna put this up here and make us look at it because we're under your thumb. They fucking hated him. They've been attacked from all angles because of where they are. Zhonghua, China, calls themselves the middle country. Poland itself is a middle country. but it's getting fucking compressed upon. Everybody wants a part of it. It's strategic in its place. And so they split it. Like Germany, they split it to East and West Germany. And they put an actual wall up. That was indicative. That was a perfect example of the Iron Curtain. It was one you could look at so that you knew the Iron Curtain went everywhere else. It's like an electric fence for a dog. You can't see it, but you know you're going to get hurt if you try to cross it. They split Germany because they were too powerful. Look at how big that part of it is. Look at Poland and Ukraine, the way they split so many years ago. Maybe that the only reason Poland and Ukraine haven't come back together is because one won't talk to the other anymore. But now that something's dying, it may be time that they communicate. It happens sometimes. Even if it's not friendly communication, it's communication. And if we communicate, we can get through this thing. It maybe that's why they haven't come together. Maybe they don't want, I'm talking about the rest of the world, don't want Poland and Ukraine to come back together, because that kind of people embracing each other once again will be able to stand up against the world in arms. If they were to come back together and they and the world people see this, they could make a new way for the whole world. They could hold a power that the rest of the world doesn't want them to have. Because even though the rest of the world says they want to help, they're like the virus. They only want to help so that they have homes for their children. They don't care so much about the person they want to keep alive. Ukraine wants to survive this thing. It may be time to get back in touch with its brother, its uncle, its father, its sibling. They're of the same ilk. It may be time that Johnny Zelensky and Stash, well, let's get back